Hello, students, and welcome to my YouTube class. This is your IP teacher, debdeepsir, and I am back with the video of the lesson that is Python. Now, today, students, we are going to look at brief overview of Python as we have already completed the chapter Computer System Overview. Now we gear our bags for Python, the programming language that is thoroughly available in your course of Information Practices 065. So this is Devdeep sir with you, and I'll take you through the session of Introduction to Python. Now, children, before we start the class, it is very important to understand what are our learning objectives. In the first phase of the learning objective of the Python lesson, we will be looking at what is the most fundamental important thing that is applicable in Python. That is, our learning objective here will be to understand how Python was developed, what was the core reason for developing Python, and what is our utility. Our success criteria will be if we have successfully completed this module, we will be able to understand the origin and development of Python and what is the utility of Python as a software developer when you pursue your career as a software developer in the long run. So Python was first created by whom? It was created by Guido van Rossum. It was created in the year 1990, to be more exact, in the year 1991. It was created at the CWI Institute, Centrum Wiskunde Informatica, which is in Netherlands. And the person who developed it was Guido van Rossum. See, initially when the software was or the programming language was being developed or it was in the nascent state, it was not called Python, as it was based out of the programming languages ABC and Modular 3. It was quite important that it was called codename Modular and codename ABC. But suddenly, one fine day, Guido van Rossum was inspired by a BBC popular comedy series called Monty Python's Flying Circus. What intrigued him most was the comedy timing of the lead character, Monty Python. So, in his honor and with this infatuation, you can say, he named his programming language in development Python. Now, Python today has emerged as front runners of app development, right from software development to web development to scientific development or scientific computing, big data and numerical analysis, and artificial intelligence. You just can't put Python out of the equation. In fact, if you want to pursue your career as a software developer, mind your horses that Python is your go to. If you are not a damn good Python developer, you are basically not meant to pursue your career in a software development environment. So, being students of class 11 and 12, you should be thankful to CBSE for taking this bold step to inculcate Python syllabus in your programming curriculum. Now, have you ever wondered what are the features that makes Python so exquisite? The feature that make Python so popular are it is a GPL. What's a GPL, students? General purpose programming language are basically a broad category of programming language that can be used both for scientific and non-scientific programming. It is a platform independent programming language. That means it is not dependent upon any platform for programming. It is a very simple high level language. With a bit of English diction, we can create a vast category of add on modules. It is excellent for beginners as the language is interpreted. Now, what do you mean by the word interpreted? The word interpreted means it is interpreter based. Dear students, you all have learned in chapter 1 that what is an interpreter and compiler. They are language translators. Wait, hold on. What is a language translator? Well, let's recall language translator are those softwares that are used for translating programs into machine understandable code. It is quite important that you all must remember that what I taught while teaching the basics of computing. That computer, does it understand English language? The answer is a big no. It understands the language of zeros and ones, which is binary language. And this binary language, in order to be converted, every programming languages need to be translated into this binary or machine language. And who does that? It is done by this language translator. And Python is interpreter based. That means all lines of code are executed line by line. I repeat once again, they are repeated and replicated and executed line by line. So, what benefit do you get as a programmer? Instead of running the program all together at once and getting to know that the error occurs in line number 200, 150, which is very challenging to find out and scroll through so many lines of code, interpreter, it's like you execute the code at one go, line by line. Then only you can make the rectifications or changes. You don't have to scroll through different lines of code, so makes it very efficient, although it is time consuming but very efficient as a development point of view. Python language are easily readable and understandable. I'm going to show you with the help of a syntax though, that how they're easily readable and understandable. It is suitable as an extension language. As I told you, the main highlight of Python is package development. So in that regard, Python is very extensive and used for developing custom application, and also easy to learn and use. Most important feature is Python is case sensitive, where uppercase and lowercase alphabets are treated differently. Now moving on, what are the advantages of Python? Already, first advantage, as I told you, they are very easy to use. Second advantage, it is expressive language, where with a fewer lines of code, I'm going to show you how we can make a plenty of meaning of the code in execution. Now, have a look at what I am trying to say by expressive here. This is a simple code in C language where we can see that data type int has been mentioned along with variables with their literals. But see, in Python, it is not compulsory to basically mention data type on declaration. For swapping, you need to take a temporary variable in C. But whereas in Python, you can actually tandemly swap values by just writing the code as A, B, B, A. Just like pure mathematics, you can see. So there is no untoward gizmo logic here. Like C, it is very simplified in Python. It is interpreted language. As I already told you, it is interpreter based. So that is what interpreted language means. Completeness, Python gives us the support of many packages and development environment. Cross platform supported in all the different operating system, as we know. Like, hold on, I would like to just interrupt here and tell you that the operating system right now I'm using is neither Windows and Linux. I'm using Chrome OS. So by that you must get to know, as I will do the programming in a few minutes, you will get to know that it is as simple as it is. Free and open source, Python is freely available. You don't have to pay even an ounce for it. And at the same time, due to package development, it can be used for different utilities. Now, students, as we have completed this module, I'm now going to take you to the software by the help of which you can do programming. Although I am here using Chrome OS. So in the Android platform, the best app I would suggest you to download is this. There is an app called Pydroid. I would suggest all of you, if you are in the Android ecosystem, to go for Pydroid 3, which is a great app for programming. Now, I have live demo of Pydroid turned on in front of you. Like you see, Python can be operated in different modes. This one by default, where you can save the file in .py extension, where py is basically Python. This mode is called script mode. Whereas there is another mode which is where you can directly interact with the Python compiler. For that, we need to just type the command Python 3 and you can see the Python prompt appears. Right now, I am using Python version 3.11.4. So I was talking about the Python prompt. This is that symbol that is called Python prompt. You can see my mouse pointer, that this triple caret symbol is called Python prompt. Now, how Python is very expressive. Like you can see, if doesn't need any data type as such. If I am simply writing a code, I can directly give the answer that C equals to A plus B, and I can simply print C to directly get the output. So I get the output 30. This I have done in the interactive mode, because this is called shell mode, where I am unable to save the Python program though, but I can directly interact with the terminal. So in class today, I have covered what are the fundamental points, what makes Python a great programming language, its origin and development, and also the features and advantages with live demo of Pydroid app for working with the Python programming environment. Till then, this is your first lecture on Python. Please go through it once. Please give your honest feedback about this session I have conducted today. Until then, please stay tuned for lecture number 2, where I will go in further depth about Python. This is me signing off.